We look here at your setup. Now, if I'm being honest, the left-hand one's spine angle is better. But for me, you're just leaning over the ball too far, okay? Ideally, from kind of this one here now, you're a little bit more upright, but at least your shoulders now are over your toes. So to get that angle a bit more, we're just going to push those hips back just a smidgen. Now, at the moment, I think you're fairly comfortable where you're at there, so it doesn't want to change too much too soon, because too much of a change, you'll be like, oh, hang on, where am I, kind of thing, okay? Where you were there, look comfortable. You certainly seem more balanced in your swing, and you can make some swings there successfully striking the mat, as we saw, okay? So just feeling that kind of sensation. The weight, as we said, is more on the laces rather than the tiptoes. If you're on your tiptoes there, you're going to try and recover by leaning back, or if you don't, you just fall into the golf ball, okay? So as the club then went back this way, okay, not too bad taking the club here, but now we'll see sort of this dropping of the club here. The club sort of works behind you now, gets a little bit more behind your hands here, coming from here. It's just the club's going to bottom out a bit early. You may hit a reasonable strike because you've kind of got used to where the club is. But if your club's coming from too far this way, the club's going that way, where's the ball going to go? Out there. The circle will bottom out behind the ball. You might adjust to that and make a fairly good contact. You probably prefer to play from the rough more often, the ball sat up a little bit off a tee peg, because then you get it on the up slightly. When it's on the ground, you've got it down on it, okay? And that's the changing of the angle, okay? So this one here now, when you're using the golf club back, club goes nicely back there, nice shoulder turn. The club can now come back at the same kind of point here now, as we start coming back down to there. That club more in line with your hands there, more in line with your toe line. As we come back to the golf ball, lovely strike. That movement through there now, there's no, if I saw that there now, there's no issues in terms of your balance at all, is there?
No, there's not.
You can rotate through. Now, if we're honest, your right foot's not moving at all, which is something we will look at next lesson, which is fine, so don't worry about it, okay? But the ball kind of going straight down the mat there, as you can see, and twisting through towards target. With her not moving, the left knee will have a tendency to want to do something. Knees kind of sort of try to go somewhere, okay? But this one here now, where you're sort of dropping down here lower, you can see your lower, look at your feet there. Trying to fight your feet there, like, where's the balance gone? That's a flat lie. If you get away with it on a flat lie, you're okay. Off the ground, if your feet are doing that movement there, then your toe, then your foot, then look at your left foot trying to react, okay? As I call the Elvis thing, the feet work. It's good footwork in fairness, but it's going to be tough to be consistent doing that. I mean, the golf swing to me is a top half movement. The lower half is in some ways more important, like a silent partner in business. You don't really see much about them. Without them, you can't function, okay? If the lower half's doing all that footwork there, as good as your top half movement might be, it ain't got a chance. It's really going to be fighting against all the elements there, okay? And when you finish that swing, you can see there's no real balance there compared to that one there. Okay, so feeling a little bit more equally balanced. As you said, that the term used was grounded. It's fine. That's what it feels like. That makes a lot of sense, because your feet are in the ground, and that would be in some ways explain why the feet aren't moving, because you're kind of feeling more planted. Whereas before, they're always moving anyway. You have to try to make some kind of movement to recover. And on occasion, you may have done this with a nice twist through, but without being, there was a bit more luck than judgment. You weren't really sure where that foot was going and where the balance was. So that's kind of session one today. Obviously, next session we'll look at that transition through the ball, getting that body working better. But if we start thinking about that and we forget about the setup, chances are you'll go back to this position and your feet can't do that. So this has to become more kind of the norm. So weight, shoulders kind of more over your toes. If the hips go back a little bit, the shoulders will stay there and you get a bit more tilt with the spine. So if I'm here now, my shoulders are over my toes. If I lean back a bit further, I'm not going here and going and falling like I said, downhill skier kind of thing. Just a smidgen more tilt. Again, we're talking inches rather than a big amount. Okay, does that kind of make sense? Excellent.